Hi, this is a quick revision guide to help you with preparing for your Year 8 exams. It's not going to be fancy and it's not going to have pictures of me, so you don't have to worry. What it will have is lots of help for you as you get ready for your exams, and it will also have probably some bad jokes. Okay, let's get started. Right, I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm not going to be making this very fancy or doing any editing or anything like that. That's not the purpose of this, is it? The purpose of it is for you to feel a little bit better about taking your exam. So let's get started. Each of you have one of these booklets, and if you don't, I'm sure it will still help you as we go through the video. Okay? All right, so quick recap on the parts of the exam and how many questions it's all worth. Okay, this exam is similar to your GCSE that you will take in a few years. We use the exam board AQA, and this is what we call paper 1. Okay, just some information, you don't need to worry about that. Section A. Now, really important before you do anything is that you read the text that's given to you. Okay? It'll be a fiction extract, so that means that it's made up, and it's a story for you to read and then answer questions about. So, question 1. So after you read the text, because that's what you do first, is you look at a question that asks you to list 4 different things, and each one of those is worth 4 marks. Okay, so for that question, that means that you should spend about 5 minutes. Okay, you want to give yourself about 1 minute per mark based on the questions. Okay, so you list 4 things. Let's look at that one first. Let's go in order. Okay, so the text we're going to be working with today is from a novel by Margaret Atwood. The novel is called The Blind Assassin. It's excellent, by the way. Anything by her is really good. And it was published, you don't need to know all of this. What you do need to know is that you always read this little context information, okay? Because, for example, right here, it's telling you the context of what this extract is about, okay? Excuse me. So, I'm not going to read this through to you. If you've been in lessons, we've been looking at this anyway. So what I want you to do, if you've not read it, and even if you have, is to pause the video and take a look at it and read it to yourself. Okay? So go ahead and hit pause now. How fancy is that? Welcome back to the video. Okay, how does the writer use language to describe the photograph? Those are the key words of the question. I would always analyze or highlight the key words of the question. So it says you could include the writer's choice of words and phrases, language features and techniques, and sentence forms. Personally, I think these 2 bullet points give you plenty. And if you start looking at sentence forms, sometimes we get confused because that links into structure. So I always tell my students, ignore that last bullet point. Okay? So we're looking for words and phrases and language features and techniques that describe the photograph. All right? When it talks about how, all that means is what language is the writer using? Okay, what methods are they using? 8-mark question. Remember, we're going to spend about 15 minutes on this. Again, in your booklet, it gives you some information here. All right. One important thing, make sure you use subject terminology. So if you want to look at adjectives, similes, nouns, verbs, if you're not sure which actual term you should be using, simply say the word, comma, quotation mark, ... Okay, at least use that word. An examiner might even think, oh, well, they're quite close, I'll give them half a mark for that. Okay, so let's look at this bit. And remember, we're looking at language to describe the photograph. Look at this. The man is wearing a light-colored hat. Oh, a student thinks to themselves, right, light-colored hat. I'm going to put that in my answer. And they start writing it down. Wrong. That is about the man. That is not about the photograph. Okay? So make sure you focus on the question. Got it? Got it. So the man is wearing a light-colored hat, angled down on his head. And you know, look, what I'm doing is I'm just looking at this, she's doing this, she's doing this, she's doing this, she's looking very young. And oh, wait, the picture. Wait a minute. I need to be looking at what's in the photo. So look back at the text. Now this is quite interesting. Starts off, she has a photo of him, how she's taking care of the photo, and then this begins to describe the photo. So actually, by looking at what is in the photo, I am going to talk about the people that are in the photo. Okay? So look at all these things that you could include. Now there's lots of examples. Mrs. Watching. Okay, now question says, what the writer focuses your attention on at the beginning. Boom. On her, looking at how carefully she's taken, how much care she's taken of this photo. Okay? So that's what our first paragraph is going to be about.